The rematch is finally here. Finally, Arman Tsarukyan gets his long-awaited title shot against the undefeatable champ somehow, Islam Makhachev, at UFC 311 in the burning city of Los Angeles. My prediction in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, Dagestan.
Even though the whole city is kind of on fire right now, the event seems to still be happening in Los Angeles this Saturday, right? My condolences for everyone involved in that tragedy. It's horrible to see. And the main event is a fight that real MMA freaks have been waiting for so long and wanting to see, right? It's not that you just want to see that fight if you're an Islam hater because you feel like that's the guy who can beat him. No, it's just the stylistic matchup from them. Like, they cancel each other out so nicely. You saw it in the first fight. They first fought more or less, a little bit less than 6 years ago, April 2019, when Islam Makhachev was scheduled to face, what was his name? The big Brazilian guy, like a heavy overhand striker. The name, I have lost the name right now, but it gets on my nerves that I lost the name right now. Was it Trinaldo? I think it was Francisco Trinaldo. And Arman Tsarukyan was 21 years old back then and stepped in on short notice. That was his UFC debut. He wasn't signed to the UFC yet, so that was his entry point to the UFC. 21 years old. I think 2 weeks notice or something, another card fell down. I'm gonna renew this whole part here of the video section, by the way. So those are the last videos with this ugly side here. But anyways, he stepped up, and Islam was also still young, obviously. And they fought 3 rounds, grueling 3 rounds. Both had a lot of success. Islam won the fight on the scorecards and definitely deserved to win, but it was a close fight. And now, nearly 6 years later, both have leveled up. I mean, mountains, crazy mountain, brother.
I'm born from crazy mountains.
Islam is a totally different fighter than back then. His striking is so much better now. He's so much more confident as well in everything he does, and it's just, he seems to be an unstoppable force at the moment. And Arman as well. I mean, Arman was 21 years old. Of course, you can say it helped him a bit that he had that nothing to lose mentality, right? But Arman now had 10 fights since then, 10 fights in UFC. In my opinion, he's undefeated. He won all those 10 fights because there was one loss to Mateusz Gamrot, which was, if you've never seen that fight, go watch it, a phenomenal fight. The wrestling scrambles were beautiful to watch. In my opinion, he won that fight clearly. It was a close fight, but he won that fight on my scorecard. But on the official ones, he lost, right? But doesn't matter. 10 fights and 9.5 wins against tough competition, against guys like Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush, like some of the division's best, right? Mateusz Gamrot as well, who has a very similar style with the wrestling heavy style. And he just seems to get better and better every fight, which makes sense. He's 28 years old right now. He's just coming into his prime. He hasn't even entered his prime yet, in my opinion. 1 or 2 years down the line, he will enter his combat sports prime. And he just, like, you don't get more athletic than Arman. Look at his videos, how he, like, just the way he stretches and everything, his wrestling drills, like, this guy is made out of rubber. And that's exactly what you need against a guy like Islam, because we see with Islam, he can strike phenomenally. Islam can knock everyone out. But, especially when Khabib is in his corner, pay attention to that. In every fight that Khabib is in his corner, he is way more wrestling heavy than when Khabib is not in his corner, because Islam actually likes to strike. You saw it in the Dustin Poirier fight. He wants to strike. He wants to get one back when someone lands something on him. He loves to be in those grueling matches and wants to knock everyone out that he fights. But Khabib is always just screaming at him like take him down, father plan. And that's why Islam is so wrestling heavy. Always when Khabib is in his corner, and Khabib will be in his corner this time, so I think Islam will be wrestling heavy against Arman. And that will be very interesting because, as I said, Arman looks so good in the wrestling department. His scrambles are amazing. He took Islam down in the first fight. And now, 6 years later, I think he can take Islam down again. Because what you have to see is, Islam was a little bit more vulnerable in his wrestling and stuff recently. I mean, of course, when he fought Dan Hooker, Jacob Moises, those guys, he just smashed them. But look when he fought Dustin Poirier, for example, the last fight. he did not get every takedown he wanted against a guy in Dustin Poirier who is not really famous for his wrestling. I mean, Khabib took him down at will. And of course, Khabib was a different kind of wrestler than Islam. Islam is a better striker though, but he's not that successful with his wrestling as he maybe used to be recently. In his last few fights, also against Volk, he had some struggles and stuff. Of course, against short guys, it's always weird to grapple with them. But you know what I mean? Some people have that thought in their head that Islam is just smashing everyone, no one can do anything to him on the ground. That's not true. Dustin Poirier even hit a switch on him on the ground. And like, if Dustin can hit a switch on you, Arman can definitely do that. So it will be such an interesting fight because I think they are a mirror image of each other. They both can strike phenomenally, they both can grapple phenomenally, and I do think they will cancel each other out. And I do think there will not be a clear winner in terms of, he will finish him, he will dominate him. I think this fight will be as close as it gets. They will both be so tired after that fight. I think it will be similar to a Gamrot against Arman fight. I do think we will see a similar fight. And Arman, what I like for Arman is just, he has nothing to lose in a way because he is rich already. I mean, his family has a lot of money, so he's just doing that for fun in a way. And of course, you want to be a champion. Of course, he has that will. That's why he trains so hard, which is a good thing. But he does not need that. His life doesn't depend on it, so he will not freeze up in there because of all the pressure. You know what I mean? He can be a little bit more relaxed in there. And what I also like for Arman is he trains at American Top Team, obviously. And there is Dustin Poirier, Thiago Moises, a couple of guys that Islam fought before, and you always have, like, it's always a good thing to have training partners in the room that have fought that guy that you are fighting already. Of course, everyone can watch the tape, but it's not the same like feeling him inside there, no diddy. You know what I mean? So especially Dustin Poirier will probably give him some very valuable tips on what works on him, what doesn't work, how he feels in certain situations and stuff like that. And I do think Arman will have a lot of success. I do think Arman will use a lot of calf kicks. That's what ATT does best. And that's something that I think works very well against Islam, especially because he's a little bit heavy on his lead leg. And I honestly do believe that it's just Arman's destiny to get that rematch and win that fight. I cannot base that on anything that he's better than Islam or Islam. I think, as I said, they're a mirror image of each other. That's why we're so blessed that we can see that fight. I do believe it will be as close as it gets. It will go 5-round, grueling, hard pace, but I do believe Arman Tsarukyan will get the unanimous decision against Islam Makhachev. He will surprise him in the wrestling department, get him down, reverse him when Islam gets him down, whatever, land some damage. In the striking as well, he will get absorb damage, but he will also inflict damage. And I do believe in a close fight that will probably end up in a trilogy fight, then he will get the nod, he will win that fight, and he will be the new first Armenian champion, brother. This is my prediction for the fight. What is your prediction for this main event? Write it in the comments, you guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Check out the Bloodsport merch, you guys. I'm wearing the Red Punch jogging shorts right here. I'm wearing the classical from the first collection, Bloodsport Blood Bear sweater. A lot of different collections. Check them out, bloodsport.net. We're about free shipping with the code FREE. Stay bloody, you guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.